What is going on, everyone? This is Eric coming at you from just outside of Hartford, Connecticut, and today we are going to look at the Mike Richards trade, which occurred back on June 23rd, 2011. Now, this trade was between the Los Angeles Kings and the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, it saw the Kings acquire center Mike Richards alongside wing Rob Bordson from the Flyers in exchange for right wing Wayne Simmonds, center Braden Shen, and a 2012 second-round pick. How did this trade work out for the two teams? We will start, as always, with the team who got the player in the title, the LA Kings. So the Kings got center Mike Richards, and he showed signs of regression early on, unfortunately for them. He was solid defensively, but he would only record 44 points in year one. Now, his role would continue to decrease the following couple seasons, and he gets waived in January of 2015, and he ends up spending some time in the AHL before getting called back up. Now, obviously, he was already hanging on by a thread, and then in the summer of 2015, his contract gets terminated because he gets arrested at the U.S.-Canadian border with oxycodone. Obviously, that's a banned substance. He had a large amount of it. They said, nope, can't do it. So the Kings had the right to waive him, so they did. He was a two-time Stanley Cup winner with the team, but he didn't necessarily have any major moments other than some strong defense. So, other than him, the Kings also got wing Rob Bordson. How did Bordson do for the team? Well, he was a pending free agent. They didn't offer him a contract, and he walked. So he did nothing. So obviously, the team that made a lot of moves in this trade was the Philadelphia Flyers. So the Flyers would acquire right wing Wayne Simmonds. And Simmonds himself became a fan favorite pretty quickly, as he made a strong impact in year one, recording 49 points, and again, fan favorite in Philly means PIM, 114 PIM. So everyone loved his toughness and grit in Philadelphia. And he had a very strong year in 2013-2014, which saw him record 29 goals and 31 assists. He had a career year in 2015-16 with 32 goals, 28 assists, and 147 penalty minutes. Now, he would play through numerous injuries in the 2017-2018 season, which included a busted jaw and torn thumb ligaments. Now, he would regress the following year, 2018-19, and he gets traded mid-season. Now, he was a one-time All-Star. Now, he did also win, he was the one-time Marc Messier Leadership Award trophy winner in the 2018-19 season. I counted it for the Flyers, and I counted it for the team he was traded to, the Dallas Stars. So he gets, the Nashville Predators. So he gets traded to Nashville in exchange for right wing Ryan Hartman and a 2020 fourth-round pick. Now, how did Hartman do in Philly? Hartman was okay. So Hartman did slightly better than Simmonds, at least on the stat sheet, scoring 2 goals with 4 assists in 19 games before he would get traded. And he would get traded to Dallas Stars in exchange for center Tyler Pitlick after the season came to an end. Pitlick himself, he had a solid year as a fourth-line center before he walked from Philadelphia. Now, going back up to this part, that 2020 fourth-round pick would become the 104th pick in the draft, and the Flyers would trade that pick to the Anaheim Ducks. Now, they would trade this pick alongside center Chris Colo, in exchange for center Derek Grant. Essentially, it was an AHL player and a mid-round pick for a guy who the Flyers hoped would help him out in the penalty kill. Did Derek Grant do that? Well, he was a decent depth piece for a half season before he left the team, and he did kind of help the penalty kill, but he wasn't necessarily elite at it. So that's what they got out of Simmonds. How did the other guys do? So center Braden Shen. Braden Shen struggled to find playing time due to health in 2011-2012, but he did show a knack for goal scoring. Now, he has an okay year two, and he has a pair of solid but not spectacular seasons in 2013-2014, 2014-2015. Now, he would emerge as a power play threat in the 2015-16 season before improving even more so in the 2016-17 season all around. Now, he would really show some good scoring ability, and then he ends up getting traded. Now, to make this video shorter, that will be its own trade breakdown video. A link to it will be up when we get that video recorded. Lastly, we have the 2012 second-round pick that the Flyers acquired from the Kings. That pick would become the 61st overall pick, and that gets traded to the Dallas Stars. So it gets traded to the Dallas Stars alongside a 2013 third-round pick in exchange for defenseman Nicholas Grossman. And Grossman himself, he ends up stepping in as a solid, defensively minded defenseman for 3.5 years, and he gets traded as part of a salary dump to Arizona, alongside the salary of Chris Pronger, in exchange for center Sam Gagner and a 2016 fourth-round pick. So how did Gagner do in Philly? Well, he did basically nothing. He spent one quiet year in Philly before he walked. Now that fourth-round pick would become the 120th pick, and it would be traded to the New York Islanders in exchange for a 2017 fourth-round pick. It was one of the last picks in the fourth round of 2016, so the Flyers said, you know what? Let's take a shot in the dark. And it paid off, as that pick would become the 108th pick in 2017. Now they would trade that pick to Arizona in exchange for the 35th pick. Now Arizona also got the 44th and 75th picks in 2017. Now with that 2017 35th overall pick, the Flyers would select center Isaac Ratcliffe, and Ratcliffe has been an AHLer for 2 years, but hasn't done much, and really kind of looks like he's going to be an AHLer. He has a chance, but he's still young, but it's getting slimmer and slimmer by the days. So that covers Philadelphia. How did the rest of the teams do? We will start with the Nashville Predators, as they got Wayne Simmons. And Simmons really didn't do anything in Nashville. He would only score a single goal, as well as getting a pair of assists through his 17 games, and then he did walk. Like I said before, he was awarded the Mark Messier Leadership Award as part of both Philly and Nashville. I think he goes in as Philadelphia/Nashville for winning it, so both teams get credit for that. Dallas was a part of 2 separate trades. So we'll start with Ryan Hartman here. Ryan Hartman, basically, this was one of the weirdest trades. Hartman ends up just not getting offered a contract as he was a free agent, and he walked. So they got nothing for Pitlick, essentially. As for the draft picks that they got down here, the 2012 61st pick was used on center Devon Shore, and Devon Shore, he ends up doing basically minimal effort, minimal things, as he was a third-line center for 2.5 years, and then he ends up getting traded in January of 2019. And so to show you what he did as a third-line center, he had 82 points over 209 games for Dallas. Now the 2013 third-round pick would become the 77th pick. It would be traded. We are not going to discuss that today. Now, how did Anaheim do? So Anaheim got that 2020 fourth-round pick, 104 overall. They would use it on defenseman Timo Nickel. Obviously, way too early to tell. He's yet to step foot in Anaheim, so we have no idea. They would also get, of course, center Kyle Criscuolo, and Criscuolo played a handful of games in the AHL before a pandemic ended up happening, shutting down the AHL season. He was a free agent, and he walked. So how did the other teams do? We'll get the Islanders out of the way real quick. So the 2016 120th pick, they would select left wing Otto Koivolo, and he's been mostly an AHLer during his time in North America. He's currently playing over in Finland. He's on loan over there. I wouldn't be shocked if he never comes back. Lastly, we have the Arizona Coyotes. So remember, they essentially got the salary dumps here for their first part of this trade. So defenseman Nicholas Grossman, he was on a bigger contract, and he had a solid year for the team before he walked. Now, of course, Chris Pronger himself, he was really a salary dump. He had retired already due to post-concussion syndrome, and the Flyers still had those rights. He was on the long-term injured reserve, but Arizona had the cap space, so they said, we'll take him. So, really, he did absolutely nothing for Arizona. So, yeah, he will get his own trade breakdown video at some point as well, just not at the end of his career. And then, of course, lastly, we have their 3 picks that they made. So the 44th pick in 2017 was utilized on defenseman Philip Westerlund. And Westerlund himself, still in Sweden, has yet to come stateside. The 75th pick was used on center Nate Schnarr. And Schnarr has spent most of his time in the ECHL. And then he ends up getting traded away for basically nothing. So, once more, a guy who didn't really do much. The 108th pick was used on defenseman Noah Hoffenmeyer, and Hoffenmeyer did not sign with the team and walked, went to another organization. So that is the Mike Richards trades in its entirety. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a good rest of your day.